experiment didn't work, but at least they see us burning the grease off the block. You can feel the heat from here. You think this block should... What's going on, guys? We're back in the shop. It feels like forever since we finished Fifi, or Fi out of Barth. Like we said in the last episode, we're going to be working on a 2.4 Ecotec for my buddy Domingo. He ended up throwing a rod on his current motor. We have a junkyard motor here that we're going to be bringing back to life. I told you guys it was a little bit rough.
He's being nice with it being a little bit rough.
I'm going to give you a glimpse of it real quick. So, as you can tell, this was sitting in the junkyard for a hot minute.
Kind of where they belong.
This one in particular maybe should have stayed in the junkyard, but we're going to fix this thing up, clean it up, get it ready to put rods and pistons in it. Where should we elaborate on?
These are things, guys, that we, for the most part, at least for the last 6 or 7 months, we haven't had the chance to tackle anything.
Yep. Haven't been able to take on any jobs or anything like that. You know, we're so busy with the car.
For the time being now, Fifi's done and costs an arm and a leg, so Fifi's good for a minute. The bird's still at chassis. We don't have another demolition drag race for another couple months.
Yep, not in November.
So in November, so probably what, a month or two before that, we'll start getting another car together and all
probably
that?
A month. By the way, I didn't tell you, but Brenda had about 1 inch of water in the interior.
Poor Brenda.
I pulled the plugs though, so it'll at least drain.
Poor Brenda.
That car was rust free, by the way. It ain't gonna be for much longer.
We'll see how the electrical system is and all
Look,
that.
Brenda right there.
Oh, yeah, we got a little piece of Brenda here. Anyways, guys, we're gonna pull this table out. We're gonna set it up, get comfortable, turn the fans on. If you can't tell,
by the way, I
it's
kind of forgot to get the adapter plate from Harbor Freight for the engine stand, so it's gonna be on the table.
Whatever. Anyways, guys, we'll set this up like I said, and we'll check back in with you guys.
All right, guys, like we said, sorry for the fan noise, but we got a nice clean work area here. First thing I'm going to work on is taking off all this timing equipment here. It's not really timing, it just runs the water pump and the balance shafts. All we're going to have to do is pull the tensioner real quick, or we can get all this stuff off, clean it up. Like I said, we're trying to bring this thing back to life and hopefully give it a new heartbeat pretty soon. Even though Domingo already has an entire new timing chain assembly and everything, always want to make sure I keep everything organized, exactly where it came from. And we don't have smartphones for nothing, guys. Take a picture of whatever you're working on before you take it apart.
The biggest thing is stay clean and stay organized.
Yep.
Label everything, bag everything, tag everything, even if you don't use it. One day, it'll get you out of a jam, trust me. Alright, so we got all the chain sliders off. Alright guys, so this is evidence.
But we stay organized.
We don't just say it, we actually do it. We got too much stuff going on for us to be disorganized here in the shop. Now being able to read Josh's handwriting on the bag 3 months from now, that's a challenge.
Why 3 months though? It ain't gonna be 3 months.
It could be.
No. We have all the parts. I need more Ziplocs. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this out here.
Sandwich bags, we ain't got no sandwiches.
Staying organized though.
Alright guys, we'll check back in with you now and go over the next step.
Alright, giving you guys a little bit of a check-in. Block turned out pretty decent on the timing side of things, getting everything cleaned out. Not perfect, but definitely junkyard engine worthy. So we're gonna work on spraying the outside of the block real quick, just trying to get some of the grime off. I can't bring myself to put a nasty looking motor inside of a car. I just can't do it. It's not us, it's not theory. So I'm gonna work on getting that cleaned up right now. And then after that, we're gonna be ready to start honing the cylinders and get this thing ready to go. All right, so apparently Danny's into pyrotechnics, and I'm not entirely sure OSHA would be happy with this, but we got something going on here. The experiment didn't work, but at least they see us burning the grease off the block. I can feel the heat from here. You think this block should stay in the room here?
Well, if it's here, we gotta have fun with it. It's not what I come here for.
So Domingo, if you're watching this, know that we have, that was really hot. Know that we have the utmost care going into the block. I can't let this thing go in the car like that. It needs paint. We got to get all this crap off of there. And we actually really need to start working on putting the motor together, but Dan, if you can't tell, Danny's having fun.
For $4, this is the most fun you can have.
Yeah, but how many cans you used so far?
A few.
Anyway, gonna finish up cleaning up this side of the block, and then we gotta start working on those cylinders.
All right, guys, so after our little pyrotechnic episode here, having fun with fire, as you know, we went ahead and cleaned the other side of the block up, and now we took it off of our fancy homemade workbench, and we have it on our engine hoist here.
Yeah, because Josh forgot the Motor Harbor Freight.
Josh has a lot on his plate. We'll give him a break. So we have the entire thing opened up here. We're going ahead and Josh has this little
A dingleberry.
here.
Backyard rebuilding motors. Dingleberries and WD-40. Ugh. So you want to show them that cylinder?
You think he was a country boy by that accent.
You want to show them that cylinder real quick? We cheated and did one already.
Check that out, guys.
Nice crosshatch. This is exactly what Total Seal recommends. It's 280 grit for their gapless rings. More than anything, when you're building a motor, you really want to follow the piston ring manufacturer's recommendations for grit, gap. I mean, essentially, it's kind of hard to mess up tolerances on rod bearings and stuff like that. But screwing up the ring gap, I mean, or the grit on the walls of the cylinders, if you're too fine of a grit, the oil's going to slip off. It's not going to do its job. If it doesn't have a good crosshatch in it, the oil's not going to cling and lubricate the rings. You know, same thing with the rings. If they're not the correct gap, especially the oil scrapers, you know, you're going to end up burning a lot of oil. So more than anything, you need to follow the manufacturer's, the piston ring manufacturer's recommendations. So we're going to go ahead and hit this second cylinder now and try and not destroy the oil squirter. Good old WD-40 is lubrication.
You think you sprayed enough?
You did. I take it one step further.
He likes lubricating his dingleberry.
It's gonna get demonetized.
We gotta get monetized before we get demonetized. You're hitting the squirter.
It's alright. Alright. I think this motor only had like 85,000 miles on it, contrary to what you might believe in its current state. But the cylinders are cleaning up really nice. Shouldn't be too bad. Hit with some brake clean to get this stuff off. I'm gonna need to hit this one again. Not enough at the top.
Let's do a little comparison here. This one's been dingleberry. This one is junkyard. So, yeah, you can see the difference. coming out pretty sweet.
Another thing too.
Those are little squirters. We're trying not to destroy back there.
When you do the dingleberry hone, you want to face the part where the rod connects on the crank away from the dingleberry. You nick one of the rod journals, you're going to be in trouble. We're taking a risk with the oil squirters because they're not at a fun angle with an Allen key to get out of there, or an Allen head. So this first one's going to need a little bit more too, I think. We'll see. It's coming out good so far.
Alright guys, we'll check back in with you in a couple minutes when we got a little bit more on this motor. Alright guys, so we got all 4 cylinders honed. They all got a nice crosshatch on them. Josh squirted probably $300 or $400 for the WD-40 on them. So far this engine's been really pleasant to work on. My only complaint is it's missing like 4 more cylinders. And it's not an LS.
A few liters. Hey, at least you're an LS believer now.
I finally see the light with the LS, and then they got me working on this.
Well, this bought 1.5 Billy Specialties. So great.
And lunch. Maybe.
More WD-40.
But what's the next step, son?
I'm gonna clean the deck of the block. It's not that bad. It just needs a little bit of love. Scotch-Brite's not gonna take a ton of material off of it. Keep it nice and flat and just clean up all this junk so we have a good surface for the head gasket to seal on.
Alright guys, that seems to be doing the trick. That's coming out really nice. Not gonna bore you guys with watching him clean the entire deck, but we'll check back in with you guys in a couple of minutes when we move on to the next step in the process.
Alright, behind me you guys can see the block. We try to clean up as much of the grime as we could out of it without spending a ton of time. I also went ahead and started cleaning out the front cover. Cleaning up the front of it because we're also gonna paint this thing. We're gonna go with like a gray enamel on the whole thing. I already took apart the oil pump, cleaned it up, put some fresh assembly lube in there. Make sure everything's good in there. There was some crud hidden in there. As you can tell, this engine was not very cared for. This cylinder head, we're gonna go ahead and send it out to the machine shop to go ahead and deck it, hot tank it, and just for it to be a little bit easier. I think I'm gonna have them install valve springs. Because I don't feel like dealing with 16 of them. I don't know about you, Danny.
I work on diesel engines.
Oh yeah, it's got spark plugs.
Very simple. This is very complicated.
So I'm gonna go ahead and yank the cams out of here.
Regular push rod.
No overhead cam?
No.
At least we got you away from the Ford stuff.
You're right about that. I owned Ford for about, what, like 15 years?
Yep. What are you driving now?
I bought a Toyota.
Oh my God, man, these things are nasty.
Alright guys, like he said, we're going to pull this apart and we'll check back in with you once it's all torn apart.
Alright guys, this is going to conclude today's work on the Ecotec. Got everything torn apart. As you can tell, we finished up with the cylinder head. This thing is grimy as all hell. If that gives you any indication how dirty this is, how clean we got this block, we're bringing this thing back from the dead. You can see the cylinders here. A little bit of junk in them just from all the WD-40 and stuff, so nothing rusts. Danny playing with a torch in the background. So what we're going to be waiting for is the head to come back from the machine shop. Please don't do that. So the machine shop's going to take care of hot tanking, decking, valve springs, retainers, and valve seals. While it's all apart, we're just going to get everything done. These cams need some love too. Going to send them to get hot tanked. Other than that, I don't know if you can tell, but we are not the most friendly to the shop as far as organization and cleanliness while we're working. So, while we take about half hour to clean up this nonsense, like, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you guys next time.